Just reused my intro for the Dexter review. I couldn't think of anything else. American Horror Story Season 3 ended last night. It was called Coven. If you watch the show, or at least you're familiar with it, you know that each season is something completely different, so you can go into each one new. I do like that. I do like the anthology kind of concept. And this season was about a coven of witches, to put it very simply. I'm going to talk a little bit without spoiling anything, and then I'll have a link so you can go to the end of the video to see my few little closing thoughts, and that I won't have any spoilers until I clearly tell you that I'm going to have spoilers. So yes, Season 3 tells a story of a witch academy, and it starts out with 3 young girls already there, and then one, Zoe, played by Tessa Farmiga, being brought into it. And they have a rival voodoo clan, and Spalding, the creepy butler, and there's not as many elements as there were in Season 2, which I think it really benefited from. Now, Season 1 and Season 3, I think, are a lot more focused than Season 2, and that's why I think those are the 2 better seasons. But I'm not here to talk about Season 2, I'm talking about Season 3. Now, as a general, there was a little bit of a tonal shift. Like, 1 and 2 were very dark, they were very creepy. Season 3 was still dark, but it was slightly more lighthearted. There were a little more comic moments. Like the first episode is called Bitchcraft. It was a little more lighthearted. It was more amusing. There were a few new additions to the cast. Like usually throughout the seasons, the cast stays more or less the same. They added Kathy Bates, who was awesome. They added Emma Roberts, who was also awesome, and Gabourey Sidibe, if that's how you say her name, and Angela Bassett, and they were all awesome. I really liked their additions. They really brought a lot to the show, I believe. But like I said before, this season is more focused. It's about witches and voodoo, and there's like 1 or 2 other elements involved, and it really does benefit from that, especially when it gets towards the end, because my main problem with the other 2 seasons was that it kind of got to a point where it got to the climax, like if it season's 13 episodes, it got to the climax during the 11th episode, and then like the last 1 or 2 episodes were kind of like weird. Season 3, it went straight, it climaxed right before the last episode, and the last episode still had a lot to do, and I think it really ended well. This was by far the best finale out of the 3 seasons. It was a really, really satisfying finale, and I liked it a lot. Throughout the story, each character has very distinguishable arcs. I really did get a sense for each character. I liked characters that even weren't really likable, like Kathy Bates' character, Emma Roberts' character, Jessica Lange's character. We weren't really supposed to like them, but just something about the way, you have to like them. This season was not predictable. The show is never predictable, and that's what makes it so great. You never really know what's going to happen next. Going into the finale last night, could not have less of an idea of what to expect. I made a prediction about who the Supreme would be, and my prediction was the first one dead. So you really just don't know what's happening. Okay, so now I'm going to start to talk a little more specific, so if you don't want anything to be spoiled, then I'll click on my face. It'll bring you to the end of the video where I promise I won't ruin the show for you. You gone? You gone? Alright. This is really cheesy. So from the start, Season 3 really does do a good job of introducing the characters. From the very first episode, something happened that I completely unexpected when they killed Evan Peters' character, just immediately, and I was extremely shocked, because I love Evan Peters. His characters are usually the main or one of the main characters, and obviously they bring him back, but it was completely unexpected, and I like how the show can still do that. Just take something and just completely wipe it in your face, and you have no idea what's going to happen. After the first episode was awesome, then I think like a few of the next episodes were still really good, but they dwindled a little bit. But once it really started to catch its footing a little bit before the mid-season break. The mid-season finale with the haircut shop like massacre was awesome. I could not have seen that coming any less. It's set to the Freedom song, and Kathy Bates' head just crying, and Queenie shooting herself. It was so cool. I did not expect it, and I was so pissed when I realized that I had to wait like 3 more weeks for it to come back. And then from that moment on, every episode was just increasingly awesome. I loved all these characters. I loved Misty, who was my prediction to be the Supreme, sadly. Spalding is creepy as hell. I loved Spalding in this season. Dennis O'Hare, I was really glad to have him back because he wasn't in the second season. Problems with the show. Evan Peters' character, I feel, was not developed enough, and then they just kind of like made him better in a flash, and it could have been handled better, I think. But I still liked it. It was good. He wasn't really in it too much, but like I love him. That's just why I loved him in the first season, second season. He was always the highlight. And Tessa Farmiga's character, Zoe, I didn't really feel much for her. Like, I don't think they developed her enough because they kind of started out setting her up as the main character, and then she just kind of faded away, and she wasn't really important for a while. But I still liked it. Like I said, the finale last night, absolutely awesome. It was one of the best finales I've seen probably in all of TV, and it was just really tied up everything really, really well. It still had a few twists that I didn't see coming. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't as slow or disappointing as like the season 2 finale. Okay, I think that's really pretty much all I have to say. So if you're coming back now, welcome back to all those who haven't watched the show and don't want it to be ruined. I'm going to give, I think American Horror Story Coven was the strongest season. I think it was the best season. I feel like it's blasphemy to say that it was better than Season 1. It was definitely better than Season 2. It's very, very close to Season 1, but I think I preferred it. And I'm going to give American Horror Story Coven an A+. I really did love this season. I can't wait to see what the next season's about. They haven't announced it yet, but I'm definitely going to watch it, and I'm going to love it, I hope. So, see you next time.